Ichie, don't feel like you are making a mistake. And I've actually had. You see, this is exhausting. Our people, my God, this is exhausting.
Don't.
I think I'm going to leave this place because people are exhausting. I've had this conversation with CM. And he pretended as if he doesn't know the context you were talking from. This is scary. This is just scary. Our people,
because
people are so dishonest.
You see videos,
you know what?
Sorry, forefather.
You should come and take over. You are too dishonest.
No, let me see.
I'm tired of you people. It's unbelievable. Show can come and take over. Show you can come and take over, please.
Forefather.
People are just full of dishonesty.
Please.
They will never tell you the truth. I don't know whether
what are you accusing me? You've seen
whether it's deliberate or not.
Calm down, please.
Something is wrong. Something is broken in our people.
Father.
Calm down.
Just go through these baby steps of pain. Baby step of pain. Just go through these baby steps of pain. Baby step of pain. Just go through these baby steps of pain. Baby step of pain. Just go through these baby steps of pain. Baby step of pain. Just go through these baby steps of pain.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is. Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course.
Your Excellency, we want to repeat again our congratulations to Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
We are happy that it's all over now. It has gone to the end of the road. Whatever controversies or objections or whatever cannot go beyond that. But God has ordained that President Tinubu will be the president. And we thank God for your also successful election. We pray for you. Your Excellency, we want to repeat again our congratulations to Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
We are happy that it's all over now. It has gone to the end of the road. Whatever controversies or objections or whatever cannot go beyond that. But God has ordained that President Tinubu will be the president. And we thank God for your also successful election. We pray for you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, we want to repeat again our congratulations to Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. Thank you for joining in this afternoon broadcast. It's a pleasure to have you in here now today. As you can see, the topic is based on the claim made by the Oba of Benin that Tinubu's victory is God ordained. As such, begs the question if God was a party to Tinubu's ordination as the 16th president of what? Of the Federal Republic of what? Of Nigeria. And we will find out what yardstick or basis was used to reach such a determination. If you're joining on the platform, please kindly turn on your camera, then you will be brought into the stage. There's a J at the background there. You need to turn on your camera, then I can bring you in into the platform. And those of you in the comment section, I will be highlighting your comment as well too. Now, he is the 16th president, whether we all want to agree with that or not. But the question before us is, was God party to Tinubu's ordination as the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? While you ponder on this question to ask, it must not be treated in isolation. This meaning that about the 1 to 15th president of Nigeria, were they also ordained by God? If you say no to that, then you need to explain why you say no to that. If you say yes to that they were also ordained by God, we need to now find out the determination on how they were ordained by God. And another question is, does God really ordained rulers and authority? The answer to that question is yes. If you see what's on the screen, among others, the duty of civil rulers is not to terrorize men of good deeds, but to punish evil men for sins against society. God has delegated authority to defend the good and punish the evil. This is one of the yardsticks we use to determine if actually God is the one that ordained or appoint that individual. But how does God ordain and appoint rulers over people? So it brings us to the next. All authorities are ordained, appointed, or determined by God. That is, in God's plan, He has determined that human government shall exist to help Him, God, carry on moral government and to enforce moral laws. They are appointed by God, but He is not responsible for their acts. If they get out of line, He will judge them as He will gospel minister. The key word there is these rulers are appointed to what, or determined to enforce what? Moral laws. We base our judgment, we're going to base our argument on this and make that determination if indeed not just him, not just the 16th president, the past president, and the future president will be determined to what? To know if indeed they were ordained by God. So, was the Oba right correct to say, to make such a claim that Bola Ahmed Tinubu his victory was ordained by God? If that be the case, that means Buhari's victory also was ordained by God, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu stated that if not for him, Buhari would not have been president. So, meaning that God also used him to ordain what's his name, Buhari again. And that is how we can reach such decision. But again, you take a look at what is being highlighted. Some facts about human government. They were instituted by God. One, their purpose. Number one, they were instituted by God. Number two, their purpose was to execute criminals and enforce law and order among men. Number three, it says human government, therefore, are not founded upon, the key word there is, are not founded upon the arbitrary will of God, but upon the needs of humanity in securing their highest good. Number 4.1. Upon the grounds of the best public interest, it becomes the duty of human government to use all necessary means to attain this end. 4.2. It is therefore absurd to believe that rulers have the right to govern and not the right to use the necessary means to carry out good government. We'll come back to this 4.2, please. I need to highlight 4.3, then I'll go to the comment section. 4.3. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to destroy. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, it becomes necessary to take him or her from the society he seeks to destroy. How do we go about that? That is where we are today. I'm going to highlight some. Let me start with my first comment here. I think was here since yesterday, Kata. Which victory, Momo man? Okay, you're allowed, entitled to your opinion. African time, I don't know what you meant by African time. The time was changed. Then we go to number 3. Prince Thompson, but actually, I wish you could come on the stage, Prince Thompson, to actually explain or clarify what you meant by your father, mother, and intelligence who had lost their moral compassion needs. I don't know what you mean by that, but I know I don't know what you're talking about. So it would be nice if you come on the platform and actually explain yourself. That means the poverty and suffering of people in Nigeria is ordained by God. That is a good one, Chigozie, Michael, because if we are claiming, or the Oba is claiming that Tinubu's victory is God ordained, I did said in the description there that equally could say that the people's sufferings also are ordained by God. Therefore, they should not complain that is not the case. Strangely, nobody, most people, I stand to be corrected, has not come out to call out the Oba to say, on what basis did you base this your claim on? He is known as the oracle of the gods. So did the gods speak to him, or the gods itself speaks to him to say, indeed, that he is that is the correct thing he said? Or was he influenced? And with what was he influenced? If you look at the video very well, even the Lagos State governor, there's no smile or any joy on his face. He was just looking like Lucozade as to what is this man saying? That is the question. Thank you very much. We can as well conclude that God ordained Cain to kill Abel, then, since the abnormalities is the order of the day. Thank you for that. That is what we're saying. We need to determine and judge how God ordained these people, because without a shadow of doubt, God ordained by way of appointment. Even the police are also ordained, law enforcement. The army are ordained. The Navy, they are all ordained by their rights. They are ordained by God to carry out a certain duty. Law enforcement, to keep for the good of the society. But is that the case in the context of Nigeria? Remember, we're not going to treat the 16th president case as an isolated case. No, we're starting from the first president to the 16th president. In all fairness, if we are going to apply fairness to all, were they also ordained by God for the good of the people. Good morning to you, to our Lighthouse. Thanks for joining in this morning. This afternoon. It depends on your geographical location. It's afternoon where I am. It may be morning or night where you are. But thanks for joining in. And we hope we're going to be able to make a determination. You guys should forget about what Oba said. No, we cannot forget about what the Oba said. This is a problem we often says have in Nigeria. Oh, let's forget about what this person says. Oh, let's forget about what this person says. If that be the case, there's no how we're not going to draw comparison. If you follow the international news very well, George Santos was expelled from the House. The Americans should have said, "Oh, let's forget about what he did. It doesn't matter." He was expelled because he violated ethics rule. Then let's forget about it. It doesn't matter. We cannot forget about it because the Oba is a respected figure in the society. If I say such a thing, nobody cares. Nobody will listen. Not even Rudolph will broadcast it that I said so. But it's a respected society in the society. It's a respected person, individual in the society. It commands a large platform. So therefore, the suggestion that we should forget about what he said doesn't align with fair practice or common sense. We should also equally forget about what the wife of the president said when she swore that on this altar we will do good by the nation. We should also forget about what Tinubu said. If it's not for me, it's not going to be. We should forget about what every other person have said and push everything under the carpet, except there is an explanation or further clarification you want to provide, Friday Igaro, as to reason why you are asking that we should forget about what the Oba said. But from where I am standing, I will not forget that. I will not accept that, because most criticize Tinubu, Buhari, and other. Even the last broadcast I did was about what Obasanjo said, blaming the Western liberal democracy that has failed us. We could as well forget about it and not just say the grace and we just forget about what. No, that is one of our major problems. Or I won't use the word. That is one of our problem in that country. We forget it. And God, but here I have highlighted that God instituted human government for the purpose of, for the highest good of the people, to enforce law and order. So, but there is a yardstick we have to follow to determine that indeed this person was appointed or determined by God. Yes, we the people elect leaders. Well, if the leaders we elect are not performing up to par, should we then forget about it then? Why do we complain? We shouldn't complain. Chigozemake, clearly in Nigeria, people have different gods or gods they serve. Thank you for that, Friday Garo. You talk too much. Thank you for that. That is my job. You know that's my passion. But I talk sense. So if you don't mind, you can add sense to what you just said. That we should forget about what the Oba said. If I'm correct, yes, you're the one that said let's forget about what the Oba said. That's my job, to talk. That's what I think Rudolph have me here for, to talk, but I talk common sense. When the righteous is enthroned, the people rejoice. That speaks to the state of the country. Where is the rejoicing? Exactly. And when you say the righteous are enthroned, but when the righteous are not participating in politics, how will the people rejoice? When the righteous refrain, absent themselves, take away themselves from the human government that God created for them to participate in it, how will the people rejoice? Many have, in the course of preparing for this broadcast and studying, looking at some document commentary I was reading, many argue that the religious leaders and Christians are partly responsible for the decadence in the society. Do you know what? I completely agree with them. And that is truth. Because when you abstain yourself, you are supposed to be the light of the world. How would you be the light of the world when you abstain yourself from politics, suggesting, having this idea and suggesting that, oh, it is the ungodly, or it's for the ungodly and for the devils to partake in it. So where do we go from there when we now leave there? Welcome, Mr. Alexander Gomez. Good morning. Oh, okay, we lost him again. So here is the question, Chigozie. When the righteous abstain from politics, what do you expect to happen? When every one of us japa from Nigeria, what do we leave it for? To change? To fix, I beg your pardon. What do we leave it for? Thank you. Friday, okay, then you guys should continue. We will continue by the special grace of God. That is why we are here. So we will continue. Friday, God, Mr. Man, leave the Oba out of this. Why should I leave the Oba out of this, for crying out loud? Why should we? Can you explain to me why should we leave the Oba out? Mr. Lazarus, there seems there's something wrong with your network. Please fix it and come back, please. I look forward to having you there. So why should we? Thank you. First of all, Mr. E, is Nigeria a secular society or not? What do you mean Nigeria is a secular society? We are talking about the good of the people. Whether Nigeria is a secular society or not a secular society, we are talking about the good of the people, enforcing law and order as instituted by what? By the human government that God has instituted. Remember, this human government is you and I. They ain't gonna fall from the sky. It's you and I that make this human government to enforce what? Law and order. Take a read at what is there again. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others. And that is what we have experienced in the society called Nigeria. It becomes necessary to take him from the society it seeks what? To destroy. Now, do not be surprised where this write-up is coming from, by the same God who instituted the human government. Romans chapter 13, verse 1 to 5. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, he, the creator who instituted human government, said it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to what? To destroy. So that is where we are today. Thank you, Mr. Blackstone, for joining. Before I take more comments, I don't know if you want to weigh in on this topic, and I go back to the comment section. So the floor is yours. If you're not ready, do let me know. I continue with the comment. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning or good afternoon. Electricity. Okay. From what the topic is, what the Oba of Benin said, I just take it as a normal talk. I don't see it to be very important today to Nigerian society. What do we expect him to say? Should we say that Tinubu was thrown or was taken there by other gods or by any other things? So he himself can tell what God he was referring to. So, and I don't think what is said is just to pacify the people, the governor who he went to see, Tinubu. I think just a normal talk which everybody who is in a high position like that will say, because he is not according to Nigerian constitution, the traditional rulers are not supposed to be partisan or to be involved in politics. And then, so from that aspect, I think that is why he said it, that yeah, it is the will of God, or God enthroned him there to be a president, right? And we know that the Oba of Benin is a diplomat, and there's a diplomatic somebody, and he knows how to use words, and also how to to use what in the right at the right in the right situation where he is. For example, when Peter Obi went to visit him during his campaign, we know how he spoke to Peter Obi, that he had been hearing about obedient everywhere, obedient. He wanted to know who is this person that is gingering, or this person behind obedient group. And when he saw Peter Obi, when Obi went to visit him, we know how he spoke with Peter Obi. He didn't just go forward to say, yes, I support you and things like that, but he used some political, he brings some diplomatic aspect into it, just to color it in a way that it will not be a straightforward saying that I support you and so on and so forth, right? So he's a diplomatic person. So when he was there to say this is like what everybody in that position will say. Every king, every king in Nigeria, every ruler in Nigeria will say that it is God who imposed, or it is God will for Tinubu to come to power. And
okay,
if I was to put it,
Mr. Blackstone, let me interject you there. I'll come to you. So you're saying, if I'm correct, that we should disregard what the Oba said. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying, that it's not important actually. It doesn't have anything to do with the situation of Nigeria, or to do with how Tinubu came to power, if this God actually brought him there or not. For me, I don't think it's an important thing when it comes to the issue in Nigeria today, right? And also, let me also take it to a different aspect, right? In the Bible, in fact, let me go to the Bible. In the Bible, we know that anytime that the Jewish people offend God, God allowed them to be taken over, to go for their enemies, for the other countries, to take over them, enslave them, put them through difficult times and everything, until they come back and realize that they have offended God, start pleading and everything. God then come again to rescue them, to fight for them and things like that. One thing I say, that sometimes hardship is a re-engineering of people's thought, way of thinking. You understand me? It's a factor. It's an element of re-engineering. How people reasons. So let's assume that from the past, from 1999, right from the time this democracy started, how many of Nigerians have been so much involved in talking about Nigerian situation as it is now? Because the suffering is getting tough. You understand me? So people are now waking up. People are now realizing their mistake, where it has gone wrong. You understand me? So I believe that this
hold on one second. I'll come back to you. Ovi, do you want to weigh in what Mr. Blackstone just said? Because I'm getting a little bit confused here, so I need to put some questions back to him for him to clarify. Ovi, do you have anything to say in respect to first and foremost what Mr. Blackstone just said, and before you now go to the topic itself?
Praise the Lord, brethren.
Oh yeah. You went to church today?
Now church with this.
Happy.
You said something that I find quite fascinating. I never feel I'm still trying to process it. You said our sheep sometimes is the re-engineering of what?
A re-engineering of people's minds.
Yes,
I was coming to that, but since you have taken it, go ahead.
So say hardship is. Repeat them again.
I said hardship is sometimes the re-engineering of how people reason, how people think, their mindset.
That's something I will take home. It's there's a lot in that it makes sense. Anyway, electricity. What exactly you want me to respond to from
No, if you don't have anything to respond to in respect to Mr. Blackstone's argument, no problem. But you can weigh in on the topic itself,
which is
Tinubu's victory is God's ordained. And the question that was posed in that regard is, was God a party to Tinubu's ordination as the 16th president of Nigeria? However, you must not look at it in isolation, in that we have 1 to 15th. Therefore, others can argue, or some will argue, that those past presidents also were ordained by God. This, by interpretation, we can now conclude that the sufferings that many Nigerians are experiencing today, like what Mr. Blackstone says, suffering is engineering the people's mind, are equally ordained by what? By God. As I yesterday, bag of cement is 6,000, between 6,000 to 6,500. The exchange rate is going up high. Egg, I don't know how they call it. It's about 3,000 naira depending. So all these sufferings are ordained by God. Therefore, the people should not complain. And it was defined, or it was made clear by what I put on the screen here, just to bring you up to speed, that among us are the duty of civil rulers is not to terrorize men of good deeds, but to punish evil men for sins against the society. Sins against the society. The floor is yours, Obi. Thank you.
I think that's why I said what Blackstone said is very profound, right? If he's ordained by God, and Blackstone said, "Ashib at times, what is the? I mean, so you see why I said that? Waiting he talk in a way, it answers everything, right? So if Ashib is reality of our thinking, Abi, if I might.
I said it's the sometimes the re-engineering of our mindset.
Of right? Our mindset.
Yeah, to think in a proper way, to come out and begin to see where is this problem coming from, where did it start or did it start? So you have to change our mind, way of thinking,
Okay, yes. So what I'm saying is that our thinking brought forth the president. And as the saying goes, the people's voice, the people's choice, the people's deed, the people's will is God's deal with and say. But in our so you see where you talk, everything just follow. But in reality, Bola Tinubu is our God. Practical. That's our God. In reality, God will feel touch. That is our God. And that is the result of our collective thinking, according to Blackstone's submission. So the idea of God, I know they follow. Matter of fact, these days, even if me and you they talk business, I don't care how much. Once you bring God, I begin to look at you like this person knows this serious. Like let's deal with reality. Talk of God. God not just our own construct, right? Reality. Tinubu is God. So if it is the people wish that is Tinubu, that means it's God's wish. It's God, not God bring her now. So I read that. That's how I read to what the Oba is saying, that in terms of the Bola Tinubu president is people's will. Yes, now we be God now. Our collectiveness is no people will be God.
But some people argue that the election was stolen. Their mandate was stolen, including the Labour Party presidential, former Labour Party presidential candidate who even went to visit the Oba. So, if it was stolen, how do you now align it with the claim?
I will come to the Oba's visit, but if we say it was stolen, it was rigged, then collectively we all agreed again to submit that.
Who did the stealing? Who did the stealing? Isn't the people?
Wait now, let's agree. Say stealing everything they like, but collectively, right? We all come together again and agree. and submit it to what? To a superior God, which is the Constitution. Again, the Constitution is still our own thinking and bearing and doing that being the Constitution. So at the end of the day, one way or the other, we give our power, say, now you be our God. So at the end of the whole process, whether we like it or not, we don't agree. We submit to the higher power. Higher power is the Constitution, and the organ of the Constitution is Tinubu, which is God. So why am I putting it this way, right? We need to start thinking reality, practical. For all these ideas, God, I am hungry. Oh, go give me food. Sit down for our food will come. We need to start to face our reality, right? That's our reality. Bola Tinubu right now is the authority, is God, whether we like it or not. We don't just like the normal God where everybody carry for it. Not be everybody like her now. Not be everybody they follow him, right? So that's our reality. So all we need, as in anything that we can touch physically, that is our reality. So this idea is that no. Everybody just coming to Oba. Oba was in Lagos for his own personal reason. You cannot tell me, say, Oba just wake up one day, say, you know what? May I go tell the world now we get Lagos. It's impossible. That is a very educated human being. It's not possible. So he went there for a reason. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm still saying it at heart or during the election, Oba of Benin was obedient. He was obedient. He was not bad. So now bad don't win.
Okay, let me interject you there. What are you suggesting? That it was induced to say that, or it was under duress, or it was under pressure, or what are you suggesting? Please, could you clarify that for the purpose of the audience?
That's where I'm going. When I say he was obedient during the election, Tinubu don't win. Appointments don't they go around. Because that's one thing we need to understand. That's why I thought, say, forget who be the person, president, Tinubu, Obi, whatever. No, it is the cabal. It is the vehicle that is bringing him that matters, right? So if I'm right that he's obedient, that means he's not on that vehicle. Now, when appointments, ministerial appointments, all those things come from those people who are in that vehicle. This is my own. I'm putting out there. I'm putting what I believe out there so that I can be criticized or be disagreed with. But this is my reading to that. So he's out. If you remember, he was the first person, I think, among all the first class kings that visit Asu Rock. If you remember, in fact, Tinubu said, keep the man wait for a minute before he come outside, come greet him, blah 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 blah, all those kind of a thing. Why? Then two. I think whatever he went there to do, Asu Rock, see catch fire well. He has to come home, go galvanize the royal father who he can relate with, the first son of the which is the governor of Lagos. That's what went on behind the scene, right? Now, when they come out to make press conference, that is where he said that to keep us talking. Instead of, imagine if he did not say that, what we will be discussing about is that what did that man go do for Lagos? What did he take him there? Right? But in order for them to distract us from actually being inquisitive and actually get to why all this, how they move around, they have to be something ridiculous for us to, okay, now I don't get Lagos. So what? Right? And now God now ordained Tinubu. Okay, so what? He's already the president. Where are you? They tell us. If I say it's not my president, you're saying it will not convince me. If I say it's my president, you're saying it will not convince me. So this man, we should start looking at them. They are very intelligent. Let's face it. They are not stupid. They are well educated. They are adult. They serve. That man work for his life. So it's not be saying no. They don't just wake up. They don't just wake up say, man, they go Lagos. Go tell them say now we get Lagos. No. That's I don't buy that. It's not a comedian. It's not an actor. No, that's a serious move for him to leave Benin. For a king to leave Benin Cup is serious, and it's not say now we get Lagos for what? So now distraction. So there's things going on between themselves.
When you say distraction, I'm gonna highlight a comment for both of you to weigh in on. First of all, when you say distraction from what, please, if you don't mind?
From us not to go into what is really happening.
Such as?
So that what I just said, it's an obedient. Now he's trying to say, imagine, you know, say this game now winner take it all. Yes. Once you are out of the system, you are out of 4 or 8 years now, long thing, you know, especially somebody who got the system where money just they come.
Donald Trump is out of the system. He's trying to come back into the system by
so that to tell you there's something there that will make them want to die to you. So it's a serious thing. As I said, it is serious. So, or if it's not that, but I can bet my life. Oba did not wake up say, I want to go and tell the worst in I will get Lagos. That's not
no. He said it himself. He doesn't like to travel. He doesn't like traveling by road.
In order for us to start investigating, start being curious, start asking and all that, and maybe we'll begin finding out things that we are not supposed to find out, right? Because the more you know, the more you act. Right? Yeah, that's why Nnamdi Kanu, Sowore, people who conscientize the public are very dangerous.
Yeah, that's true.
So the system, the power that be, they will do everything to distract us. Something ridiculous like this. Just tell me, in today Nigeria, how do say okay now Oba and Lagos help us in any way? Any way, shape, or form, any way, how? Now you know from nowhere. He not speak to anything in today Nigeria. Nothing. We don't people know the fact with the Yoruba people because nothing. But from nowhere, it become national discussion. That's something we should not even pay attention to it. We have more problem. We don't get lights. He should come and tell us why we don't get light.
But Ovie, if you say like you just mentioned that we don't have light, let's do it this way. Yes, let's say he said it for a distraction or for whatever reasons, but for the fact that the people are suffering, our people are suffering. And you are bringing God into context, based into the situation, based on then we cannot dismiss. Like you said, it was an obedience, which I know as well too. And suddenly, that's what I'm asking: was it induced, or was it coerced, or under duress, or influence to say this, regardless of whether it's a distraction or not?
Okay. Okay,
hold on. Let's give Blackstone the floor. I'll come back to you. Blackstone, go ahead, please.
Let's understand that the Oba of Benin, right, is normally, before becoming the Oba, he has been involved because he was two-time ambassador to two countries. He understands the games. He understands how they play this game. You understand me? So for him, because I was surprised that the Oba of Benin left his throne, went to see the governor of Lagos State. When I saw that it was in Lagos, I was surprised myself. Because the Oba of Benin hardly travels to visit people, even if you look at his father or the previous Obas. So there's a political narrative to this. And what I can also, from my own belief, when I can tell you that, like Obi said, he went to see Tinubu at Aso Rock. I guess that he's trying to lobby, at least for Tinubu to appoint somebody from the Edo State to a position, which I don't know if there's anybody that from Edo State or from the Benin already has been appointed into any position. That could be the reason why he has to do those things. He has to leave. He went to visit Tinubu. All the Obas went to visit him.
Election,
he went to see
election they come for Edo State too. That could be one of the reasons.
Of course, that was also for a complete part of the reason too. You understand me? Right? So there are many things that we, like we said, we do not know many, because what are we now talking about? Just two things. Edo people from Lagos. The God ordained Tinubu to be president, but that was not the reason he went to Lagos to go and see the governor.
If I can understand very well that what everything is for their selfish, personal, group, selfish purpose, and not for the good of the general populace. Therefore, we
I will not
can
say that
safely
because
conclude
with
that
this,
God is not the one that ordained these people, because God ordination of leaders or rulers is for the highest good of the people. Now, I'm going
If
to
I can come,
highlight
if I
a
can come
comment.
in here, if I can come
Hold on,
in
hold
here.
on.
no.
Okay,
Electricity.
go ahead.
No, electricity. Hold on first. Let me just say this one. You know, it is only in Africa we say God ordained leaders. You understand me? The people choose who they want. The people, it's only in Africa we use that narrative. God ordained our president.
Let me show you something. Let me
give
show
another
you
example
something.
that will give a very clear.
Arbitrary. Just keep talking. When I will come in when I'm ready to come in. Go ahead, Ovi.
Three things here. Three countries: Nigeria, Britain,
Okay,
and America.
Ovi, wait 1 second. 1 second. Human government, therefore, are not founded upon the arbitrary will of God, but upon the needs of humanity in securing their highest good.
Exactly.
Upon the grounds of
That
the
is it.
best public interest, it becomes the duty of human government to use all necessary means to attain this end. It is therefore absurd to believe that rulers have the right to govern and not the right to use the necessary means to carry on the government. Ovio, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, now let's also speak to what you just read. Three government, three countries: Nigeria, Britain, and America. An average Nigerian citizen believe that power comes from God. Both religion will tell you that. So, hence, you see our elite, they always use that either against us, to console us, to fight, or whatever. Easy place to go. God. So
easy place to go.
we derive our power from God. Great Britain derive their power. The power of the government of Great Britain comes from three dimensions: the royal home, the aristocrats, and the commons. Right? The common. So this is three people that form the government of Great Britain. In America, they decide to say, you know what? No. Power, we are not going to derive our power either from God or from aristocrats and royals and all that. Our power is going to come from the people. So that's why I say, it's people's will, people's choice. So, see, because we should understand, see, the world as we see it, we speak it to existence. Now we build that our thinking. So, the words we use, it's very, very important the way we take it. Because Arabic Nigeria, and I know what God will do. God time is the best. So and before then, I keep saying it. 99% of Nigeria wants to go to heaven. That's the most important. That's number one thing on the list. Once they wake up, the aim is, how do I make heaven? So every other thing follows. And our leaders know this. Una won't go heaven, Abi. No worry, we go allow una practice una religion. Una will get big churches. Una go get, this is all this, as far as I'm concerned. That's why in reality, there no count. The reality now, how I go take drink, how I go take chop, how I go take get light, so that I go feel the reason like my neighbor across the world. We don't think about that. We say it was a God will bring light. How? And that's because we don't know history. They don't teach us. This world as we see now, we organize them. Human be just a worker like every other animal before. If you go back to history, that's how it was. But some people, maybe out of necessity, decide to organize us. Not be God organize us. That's one thing we still don't understand. Everybody get motive. Those who organize every society have motive. Those who believe that Nigeria is a construct, they put them together. There's a reason why they do it like that. If you believe that, just follow the reason. It has nothing to do with God. Nothing. It is personal interest and survival. How do I survive? That's why even the power of the West, I know they blame them because they are looking, how do I survive the next 100 years? It's about survival. We're in the jungle. The humanity has conquered every other animal, right? So that me and you go feel they drive, move around, feel easily, wake up. But that's all we were able to achieve up to today. That is the only thing where we don't achieve beyond every other animal. Because Among every animal on this planet Earth, now only us they pay to live on the earth. Only human being they pay to live on the earth. Now only us we kill ourselves. 2023. I don't think there's any animal out there where you would say, oh, this animal go kill me. No. You are always scared of Blackstone or scared of me to kill you. So we have not achieved anything. There's no society in this world today where their citizens know they worry about food or where to sleep. No other animal on this earth worry about that. If you look at other animals, those way they other animals where they suffer, now the one where we imprison in the name of what? Zoo. And that's forest make you see animals fresh, heavy, living well. You are not better than them. I mean, where you go, where you could die, you special than them. No, we are not special than them. But what make us differ is ability for us to come together in numbers and create things, build cars, build cities, build houses. But we Nigerians, we Nigerians are not able to achieve that because we are still in darkness in 2023.
But
let me say something. Let me say something, right? When we talk about God, let's remember that God has given humans the right to do what is good for them.
Blackstone, sorry. Yeah. Look at this comment on the screen, in front of your screen there. Because we always, like I rightly said, and I think I said this to somebody this morning, that why are you always saying that let's leave everything to God? Let's leave everything to God. Let's leave everything to God. Let's leave everything to God. So therefore, don't go and meet God for money then. Don't come and be bothering me. Let's go and meet God then.
Electricity, look at this guy comment. I say, can anything happen without it being the will of God? No, nothing can happen without the will of the people.
This is even
so we are now we be God.
Okay. Now we be God. Okay, hold on first. Okay. Let me also bring another dimension to this thing.
Okay,
right?
Go ahead.
Right. When the election result was called, right, there was tension in Nigeria, high tension. People were willing to go to the street, but somebody came and said, "Calm them down." So sometimes there's opportunity. When the opportunity comes and you miss it, you understand me? I use an illustration that if you are driving, maybe in Europe or in America, if you are driving on the highway, you miss your exit. It's going to take you around 100 kilometers to come back to where you are going to. So
you say something now that I like. You say something now. You say somebody came and calmed them down.
Yes.
You did not say God. You did not say God came and calmed them down. So nothing will go happen, good or bad. Now whether good or bad.
So somebody calm them down. So wait, just hold on. I will go to the court. I will go to the problem. So that was the time Nigeria would have stood up and say, wasn't our own mandate. We did not vote for so and so and so person. Why are you not giving the result to this one and so person? You understand me? So that opportunity was missed. And now it is very difficult to come back to that opportunity today, right? And say, I want to go back to what we are planning for. So God gave us let me say something, right? Your thought creates things. Your thought, what you continuously think of, will generally manifest for you.
Yes.
Your thought creates things. So
the idea of God is in our thought.
Yes, in our thought. So what are Nigerians? What are the thought of Nigerians? What are they thinking of? You understand me?
We are thinking of going to heaven.
So when we are thinking of going to the street to claim to stand against that result, somebody came and said, no, everybody cool down. Right? So that is to tell you that the people who has power that decide for us, right? Then we will not follow that decision.
Okay.
You understand me?
Blackstone.
Let me hold
on 1 second.
Let me give you one idea. Tell people that you want to tell how to get electricity. Say 1% of the energy when they think of God and heaven. May they use and think, say, how do I get power? How do I get electricity? How do I get electricity? I say they will get it.
Blackstone, I'm going to
Yeah.
highlight what we time everything to. When Solomon died, his son, I think it's Jeroboam or Rehoboam, became the king.
Yeah.
And the people went to him to say, listen, when your father was a king, his taxes were high. We want you to reduce it. He consulted with the elders. He didn't go to God. He consulted with the elders. The elder says, you know what? Lessen their burdens. He now went to consult with the younger ones. The younger ones said, double their burdens. He listened to the younger ones. And what Ovie said, and what I have also been standing on, that it is in the hands of the people. And the people said to your tent, O ye Israel, the house of David is what? It's on its own. Yes, God instituted human government, but it takes you and I to make this government to work.
Definitely.
So when we are bringing God into context of things, then we have to be extra careful, because He wants. So are we suggesting? I beg your pardon, that the God that is in the Western world is more favorable to the people than the God that is in Nigeria and Africa? Is that the case?
Electricity. It is their mindset. It is how they think.
I just tell you
It's
now
how
where
they
they
think.
have their power from. It is where they have your power
No,
from.
it is how they think. It's how they think. It's how the reason.
But electricity, see this guy comment. I think to me is the best for so far for the day. Even everything way they talk. Michael Chigoze Michael. He said this is
Michael.
why.
Let me look.
Said this is why we worship.
Is it this
No,
one?
no, no,
Only
no, no.
African use God as an
No,
excuse
no,
for
no,
their
no, no,
failure?
not that one, not that one. He said this
Okay.
is why we worship any. Yes. No, no, no.
Let's say
Calm down,
only
calm down,
Africans
calm down.
want
No, calm down. The next one after that one.
the next one. This one.
Yes, yes.
This is why we worship any progressive people as our God or God. We see the ability to shape their life as divine, while we wait for God to shape us.
You understand? That's why we see America as it's God's own country. We see Chinese people as extraordinary. So we they see them as if they are closer to God than us, right? Because they are figuring out collectively to change their way of life, right? That's where we are. We see the animalistic state. That's why in a way I agree with Nnamdi Kanu. We could not come together, we as people, to build just a conducive environment. We don't want to go moon, forget moon. Make we get last so that we go fit dey see day and night. It's 2023. Make God please.
Okay. Electricity. Let me take you back to the book of the Genesis. What did God told Adam to do?
He asked him to walk, to till the ground, to maintain
and to subdue what?
To subdue the animals.
So that's why we are human animals. So there are those that can subdue us, can subdue some people, understand me, to get what they want. So
but Blackstone, it is in human nature to want to subdue one another.
Yes,
I would love
definitely.
to subdue Ovie, but Ovie will have to revolt. For example, look at. I used, for example, George Santos in the US. The guy never wants to leave. Some people were supporting him, but at the end of the day, they did not say God will come down.
The people will prevail at the end of the day. The people will, not God's will.
They all say the same thing.
Exactly.
We all say the same thing. I just give an example that when there was opportunity for us to stand up against these monsters, somebody say, calm down. And we go through the court process. And we know that
begin to see ourselves as the God. Then we can do godly things.
As a single, we have the power over the few who are ruling us. You understand me? Because I just say one thing, right? Look at Kanu. They know who they voted for. When the court notified the governor election, the victor of the governor, the people went to the street. The women went to the street because they know who they voted for. So if you know, was Tinubu victory? Was anybody in Nigeria that celebrated Tinubu victory? Nobody celebrated because most people know that they didn't vote for him. There was no celebration. There was nothing. It was the, in fact, let me say, it was the only presidential election that was never celebrated in Nigeria. Because the people knew they did not vote for him. So that was the opportunity they can say, we want to stand up and fight for what we did, who we voted for. So also I see that it's not God, the people. God has appointed the people to take charge of their life.
Imagine a country that pay more serious attention to religious studies than to history. What do you expect? We are godly. We are very godly people. So
it's not a country godly.
Here is my question. If that is the case, why are many Nigerians wants to jackparing away from Nigeria to
it's because of what
welcome Mr. Consign,
it's because
let
of
me
what
give Mr. Consign the floor. Mr. Consign, can you weigh in on what we are discussing, please?
Good morning, guys. I hope you're hearing me.
Yeah, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Mr. Consign, before you go on, let me ask you a question.
At least let us first of all, we have to know which God that heard the Oba. Let us know the gods that heard the Oba, whether it's God of Jesus Christ, or is that the God that worship? Because
I am from Benin. I am from Edo State. It is not our God that sent him. We don't send that message.
Oba went through many rituals before he became the Oba of Benin. So which God now is he worshiping? And which God tell him to say such a thing? I concur with Ovie. We must investigate him where he's coming from. You know, my brother, these politicians, whenever somebody is a politician, he's a politician. To be an ambassador, you have to be a politician to be an ambassador. And they say when you watch a pig or this, you want to be a pig. He needs something from the government. That's why he have to. And that is what is killing them today. That is why these politicians are using them and dumping them, kicking them out. What happened to some of the Obas now, some of the kings now, everywhere? You know what happened in Kano? How that man was removed? In the East, everywhere. That's how they're being removed, because they involve themselves in this stupid politics. You understand? So it's not helping them. It's not. A governor today another governor may come in Edo State today and decide to remove him. And he can remove him. You see, so all these things they are doing, they are insulting themselves.
You cannot.
These days, you know, these days, before we respect Obas, we respect the kings. You can't talk anyhow to the kings.
because the Obas not appointed now.
All they need to do now is instigate the people after the throne.
You can insult the king, but before you can't. When we are growing up, during the old days, you can't.
If the government collide with federal government, instigate people of Edo against their throne, they don't end with that.
They will, because you see, when the politician come in and when somebody is telling them lie, you know, people hate lies. Let me tell you, people hate lies. When you want to deceive the people may stand up against you. Don't come and lie to the people. Don't come and deceive the people. We before the kings and the Obas and this and that, they are respected. Like what happened in Lagos State. You see how they wanted to destroy that man, that king in Lagos State? Because of all his atrocities, all the things he has been doing, atrocities and all his utterances. That's why the time of what they call it, the NSAS. You know what? See what happened to that man? So it's because of those kind of things. The people supposed to respect themselves. They're supposed to respect their throne. And when you're not doing that, you're calling out on yourself. I can leave for now.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Anyway, for me,
Let
Anyway,
me highlight this. You cannot remove the Oba of Benin. The Benin people will resist it 100%. Benin worship
you
their
cannot
king.
remove your Oba of Benin.
See,
No,
see,
they did it before.
Blackstone,
No, they did it
uh,
before. It happened in
Blackstone,
the history
Blackstone,
before.
What?
Wait,
Blackstone.
I
I want
hope
me
Uh,
to
you.
why,
commot the
why
word,
was the
commot the word
what
cannot.
happened to the one in Kano?
Listen,
What
make I
happened
tell
to
you
the
what it
people
is.
No,
from Kano?
See,
wait,
Blackstone,
concern, wait.
Uh,
Blackstone, Blackstone. Look at it. Make I tell you how it go to happen. If there's a need to it to happen, now for state governor to collaborate with the federal power to instigate
uh.
the people, say it's over. Once the people don't speak, it never finish.
The people
Now,
of Benin
see,
respect. The people of Benin respect the Oba a lot.
the
Yes,
Benin are people. Now people
Yes,
agree.
it's
Say,
possible.
hold on. Now people agree. Say the royal family must remain like that. It's an agreement from the people. Nobody say na divine power. Now people agree. Say, oh, make it be like that. So nobody say na the man strong. Say man, I'm gonna be like this forever. No, no be in power. Now the people's power. The people of Benin say this throne must remain in one family, and they agree on it. That's it. So they can decide to say, you know, we agree. Say man, it's over, and it will be over. So there's nothing like they cannot. You understand? We don't want it to happen. That is one secret the way the throne get. Yes, we like it like that. But that doesn't mean it cannot happen. There's nothing like that it cannot happen. Now people get power now. Now people get power.
Mr. Blackstone, there is nothing that it cannot happen. When the power that be wants to remove, they will do everything to remove. That is just the truth. It's like saying coup can never happen in Nigeria. Is that it can happen? So, but we don't pray for
when the people first come, what do they do? They no banish the grandfather go come up for the come up for now.
electricity. Wait now. No,
Heaven fall.
different.
anyway.
No, what I mean by that.
Don't
No,
let us go outside there. Let's leave the Oba
okay.
with his people.
It's a
But
secret.
one of
We
the
like it like that.
surprising
That's what
things,
makes it unique. That was made
yeah,
that throne unique. The fact that it just there, that makes it unique. We
yeah.
like it like that.
Let's one of the surprising things. I stand to be corrected. If you listen to, read the description. Like we always said, the content creators. Let me highlight one. Those who claim the people like Naija Watch, the Edos and everything, Benins or whatever it is. None of them have come out. And like I said, I stand to be corrected to actually say, to challenge or weigh in on the Oba's comment, the way they weighed in or on Tinubu's and Buhari and Obasanjo. I don't know if any of you have heard so far. I have not heard because on the description I said every one of them should go. May they enter house, may they close the door behind them. After that, Oba's comment, I yield the floor to
So
you guys.
when you say reaction from elites from those regions or
Yes, from those regions and even content creators who are so quick to
yes,
jump on. Yeah, so go ahead.
because as we said, the reason behind it is known to the people who are bankrolling those content creators. As I said, it's not distraction. It's not important. It's not saying anything important for them. Those people, most of them don't get their own share. Now only in the worker now. You don't be only in the worker. He hasn't gone, and again, he hasn't gone. If to say a general problem, if I don't go whether Emir of Kano place, if I don't go one other places, but not from Asu Rock to the man village, which is Lagos. So now only he get that problem. So and I don't think he has get influence like that in terms of influencing social media. Nobody actually they root for her. How many content creators out there they actually carry matter for head, right? Nobody. So that's what I see here. His problem, whatever that he's chasing or where they chase him, it's like it's only now only he affect like that. He never spread.
Another thing I also believe that for so many people, they don't think to be important. And also, the Benin people also respect the words of their Oba. That's another thing too. You understand me? Because they...
Mr. Blackstone, look at what is on your screen. This is what I'm trying to say. Now, you see what is on your screen. This is what I'm trying to say.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. No, wait, that's what I'm trying to say. I said most Benin people respect the words of the Oba. They don't mostly argue it. You understand me? They don't argue with it. When the Oba speaks, it's like the God has spoken. You understand me? So they don't argue it, right? So that is, I think that's one of the reasons most people doesn't even start. But so many people, it doesn't feel, they don't think it's very important, right? But when it comes to the issue of this monarchy and everything, I always say that Nigeria has four systems of government. You understand me? We have the executive, we have the legislature, we have the judicial, and we have the traditional councils. You understand me? That's what it is in Nigeria, which I've never seen any part of the world. You understand me? Every tribe have their own king, and the government are paying them. You understand me? For me, generally, I would rather say we don't even need the traditional council. Don't need the Obas, don't need the kings. You understand me? Let them. It has to be.
You know why? You know why it be like that? Because they are the whether we like it or not. Now them be the original founding fathers of the federation
those
that made up Nigeria.
federation.
So you cannot kick them out. You have to work with them, and then be the elite. When they super elite, it's like super elite. Not them, because they don't do anything, and you have to pay them, right? They have a lot of power. Just as you put them, they control a lot of power.
They have a lot of power,
and that's why when they focus on the political elite, the politician, no, the politicians are powerless without all this block. The royal fathers, the intelligentsias, the business community, the military community. These are the people that form the elite. These are the people that is responsible for our progress or our downfall. And that I don't say they are visionless, because if you just look at any of them, all their dream is to have an estate abroad. None of them. Just look at the institution of the Oba of Benin, for instance. I respect, I like that institution. I might disagree with the person who is there right now, but as far as I'm concerned, that institution, what that thing can be generating at least $1 billion every fucking year to Edo State or to the country of Nigeria. You understand? But because they are visionless, they would rather go they take picture with the Queen of England, right? Make them, you understand? So instead of make Queen of England, people will come your house, come steal. They keep to your house and loot you. But now they go just to take picture with them and you are happy. Something is wrong. It's supposed to be the other way around. So our elite are visionless. And that's our problem. They don't get vision, because every other society, their vision, their elite always, now them they carry the country, the society forward to the next phase of life.
Gentlemen, let's weigh in on what Ovie just said in terms of revenue generation by the palace, which let's do it across board, because I believe every sector in Nigeria can generate revenue. For example, the recent FAA order for Nigerians not to use Ghana must go back to, I don't know if you've heard it, they've banned Ghana must go back from people traveling, using it to travel.
Yeah, but sorry, I think they come out and say that lies, say they don't do anything. I'm talking about the immigration officials, that be all those airport people. But I don't.
Come again.
I think they came out to say that people are just spreading rumor that they did not ban Ghana must go.
That did not back down. Okay,
that's what they say. That's what they say.
Okay. Yeah. We're looking at revenue generation. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
These palaces and every other place, like you said, they are.
Let me say something. Yeah.
How can we, like, we say, is it down to the people? And we've always been. Let's agree on one thing here, so that it will help us to move forward. To fix that country is down to the people, you and I. Whether they say it's God that ordained Tinubu, or God that ordained Jupiter, or God that ordained Mars, it makes no difference. Regardless, God still depend on the people, or ask the people to fit the society that He has created for us. So, in terms of revenue,
let me say something here. Wait. Let me say something here. In terms of revenue, the traditional council, or the traditional, let me use a Benin as an example. The artifact of Benin, right? I think I was listening to Arise News. They said that one of the states that still have a museum today, that for the artifact is Edo State. You understand me? They have a and I think the Oba of Benin, they are building a new museum. I remember that here in Berlin, one of the museums here did almost, I think for 3 months, they display artifacts from Benin, the Benin artifacts, for complete 3 months. And they produced a book that was almost about 900 pages book that contains all the Benin artifacts and everything. And this did generate fund for the state. And this you can, like we said, they don't have vision. This is what it can do. Every state in Nigeria have artifacts. Why don't we have a museum? Because museum generate fund. People come in to see. You understand me? You know, so it can be an avenue of generating money for the state if they have well standard and equipped museum. Today, they are bringing the Benin artifact from everywhere in the world, where they sold it and where they sold it to and everything. And why is the state not carrying out a project? How do we now begin to display those artifacts? Though the Oba of Benin said they will bring it to the palace and they're going to build a museum for it and everything. How long is it to take? Because these are some of the things that attract people, tourists, to the state. Want to see the history, want to see the history of the state, and those artifacts tell about the handwork, the history of the tradition of the people of that state. You know, so if we are able to harness these things and put it into a money generating venture, definitely it will generate billions of naira every year for the state. But they're not looking into all this. For example, the moat, the Edo Benin moat. Today's no more there. Nobody knows where the moat is today. And that's a big something that sometimes we are generating money for the tourists. People come and see. People now telling them the history, how it came about, what happened, so on and so forth. Because we have lost many things because we do not value these things. We do not keep these things because we don't have that attitude of preserving our culture, our cultural heritage, our cultural artifacts. You understand me? You know, for example, here in Germany now, there are some buildings that's about almost 200 years old. They will tell you, if you want to renovate those buildings, you can renovate the inside, but the outside have to be the same. You cannot change the pattern of the outside because that tells how old is that building. Today, which building can we say that is up to 100 years in Nigeria?
Mr. Blackstone, do we have the culture to maintain anything besides?
We don't have it. It's totally zero. It's even minus zero.
How do we develop such culture, please?
Mr. Electricity.
Okay.
Electricity.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I answer that?
You see, the issue of that generating revenue for now is not there. Because before you can do that, the country have to have security. There's no security in the country. No white man or no tourist, good tourists, we can come from anywhere to visit Nigeria for now. That is the truth. You see, when we say, let's do the country, let's develop, let's make the country good, some people think that it's a joke. For example, in Malaysia, one of their earnings is through tourism. And Nigeria have more places to visit than Malaysia. But because Malaysia has a stable and good government and a good environment, and the security is topmost, that's why people go there. The same thing applicable to Indonesia, the same thing applicable to Singapore, the same thing applicable to Namibia, the same thing applicable to even Tunisia, Tanzania, all those countries. They have security. They have everything you can take out that can bring what tourists there. But Nigeria don't have it. So anyhow we develop the country, anyhow we develop anywhere in Nigeria, since there's no security, since that the people are very poor, the people are hungry, the people can also the citizens itself can do those things, can go and go visit all those, some of those cultural areas. But the problem is this: the people are also poor these days. They can't. So the people you look for is international people, international the foreign tourists. But then the situation is not good for them. The environment is not good for them to come for now to visit Nigeria. So anyhow, the government invested money or what, it's gonna be nonsense. That's the truth.
Thank you very much. Ovie, your turn. I want you to speak, then I want to highlight a comment for every one of us. Please, Ovie, go after you. I'm going to highlight the comment, please.
Now, the how to generate income, to generate revenue from that using that Oba of Benin institution. Let's just take example from people who can stay from us, right? The British Royal House is worth 19 billion pounds, and they generate an average of 1.7 billion pounds per annum, right? Put that aside.
That is on tourism, if I'm correct.
No, that's just the royal. Yeah, what the royal that royal institution attracts from donors.
Yeah, people go there for tourism, yes, and everything.
Then the museum, the London Museum, as at before the pandemic, as before 2020, right? They were generating an average of 123.7 million pounds annually, and I guarantee you, but if you make an over-exaggerate them, 30 to 40% of the artifacts in that museum that generate come from Benin. Right? Now, just imagine we just build story around it. Forget say the artifact never come now. The few on way they build story, create Nollywood around it, sell stories, sell movies, sell documents, just all those in begin educated right from, because it's very rich. One of the richest institutions in the world, for God's sake, right? One of the most civilized institutions in the world. So if we can recover that, or just build the story around that first. Now, talking about maintenance, and I take offense when people, not the way you put it now, when people just say, "Oh, we're not going to maintain now." They even bring their come back to they go steal them back again and sell them again. That's an insult. We did not buy those artifacts. We did not. It was from people's imagination. So people will sit down, put in hours, days, weeks, years, decades, create something. They don't know how they will maintain them. If they don't maintain them, the people go see and thief. It was maintained, highly maintained before they was able to be seen and be stolen by those people. So the idea that we cannot maintain is an insult. It's an insult. Now, that is why I personally
Sorry for interjecting you. Just to buttress your point, it will be the case of this comment we are just highlight now. It is not just about artists. We don't find value in ourselves and what we own. We only look up to whatever the white man sees. Meaning that for us to think that we can maintain it, we don't value ourselves. We don't value our ability.
I agree with what he's saying.
That's true.
But from the point of view of that, it's an activity. What is just attribute to us now is it's man-made. We're meant to be thinking and be living like this. This is not who we are, right? People that came before us, they can't see us, they wonder, they come, who are these aliens? So when they come, they not just come steal. They come to destroy, and part of that destruction is to change the way we see ourselves. And that is why I've come to the conclusion that dual sovereignty is the solution, is the way to go. What do I mean by dual sovereignty? Give every state a level of autonomy, and see if Edo people package themselves, begin to see their dignity. The Akwa Ibom people go say, man, oh, I still want to be like Oyibo man. Boy, the man from Borno go sit and say, he won't be like Saudi Arabia man. For God's sake, the guy in Saudi Arabia want to be like Dubai, want to be like Miami, want to be like Vegas. So the Arabs say, they say they are backward. No, they have. In fact, the whole world now, they use Dubai as a prototype. The next phase is what is happening in Saudi Arabia. The $1 billion new city they are building. So We need competition within ourselves to bring our uniqueness. That is the only way we can destroy what they have molded us to be. And again, that's why I question the IQ of the elite. At the same time, I feel absorbed there for some countries because they don't have experience of actually managing a huge society. That's never happened before in our history. That even the Americans that came together, it was now that dual sovereignty that is keep them going. Texas get their own rules and laws. New York get their own rules and laws, right? Then the federal government has their own, because they have never managed huge society. And now that they are trying to achieve that, you see the problem where then they get. The envy of every Western leader is Xi Jinping of China. How do you manage 1.3 billion people so successfully? And that is coming out of experience. You have to go back to the China dynasty of 15th and 16th centuries. They've been here before. So this success that they see, so it is not new. They are just building, they are just capitalizing on what they lost before. Why they lost the empire? It was due to the external factor, ability for them to relate to the outside world that make them to lose their first empire. So them coming together again now, the One Belt Road initiative is is coming out of what they tag as 100 years of humiliation. So they've learned. We have never managed ourselves in this large scale. We've been managing ourselves from one enclave to one tribe. That's how we are. That's why we're best. That's why when people are advocating for regional governance, it is because they've seen it before. We've been there, right? Now, even when the Biafrans we want to go, they know, they look back to their history. Man, we can do, if we continue as one people in our own enclave, would have been better than this. So that is what is causing all this confusion.
Let's go by the dual sovereignty that which I agree with, but the implementations or the achieving it at Blackstone, the dual sovereignty that Ovie just highlighted, because it's one thing for us to talk, like we always say, it's another thing also for us to go by the solution, and the solution that has been profiled several times is education, going down to the grassroots. From my own position where I stand, achieving these, you know me, you know what I'm going to say next, is when we start to hold our legislators accountable in that regard. And I hold them by their, permit me to use the word, by their blockers that listen, we have to do this thing. This thing has to be done. Down again to the people. How do we achieve this? I'll start with Blackstone.
Okay. What Obi just said is, I agree to that, right? Let's remember that even before Nigeria become one country, there were several tribes or several communities, right? Like, for example, what they call today the Benin Kingdom. The Benin Kingdom have their own way of ruling themselves. They have the Obas, they have the chief and everything, who were like legislating over issues. They learned a lot from that. They was able to do it successfully. You understand me? They have their own army. They have their own army. They have everything that today is what they call the issue of democracy. The like the three organs and so on and so forth. You know, they also have their own way of judging people who commit crime and everything at that time. You know, so this has been there, but because of Nigeria now become a country, all those things have been thrown away. Those knowledge have been thrown away, right? If we want to achieve that dual system we're talking about, we have to go back to the root and learn and take what was working at that time and try to modernize it and see how it will work. If, for example, now some of the power that is in the federal hands are now giving back to the states, right? So they can come out and say, okay, these are the federal powers, these are the state powers. You understand me? These are like in the US, every state knows their boundary. The federal government knows their boundary. if you are able to bring out a clear demarcation between the federal and the state can make laws for themselves, I believe that when that is happening, the people can rise up and say, this is our law, you cannot break it. Some states will perform better than some states. Some states will fight for what is right for them. You understand me? Because they know their law. So they're not going to be crying to the federal government and say, give us this. They'll be crying to the state and say, this is what we want. This is your campaign for us. This is our ability. Now give it to us. Now, for example, now every state now go to Abuja to go and ask for fund. Is there no way of generating fund within your own state? But they will come and tell you, oh, that area it is in our purview. It is the federal, because these are the federal law.
Let me ask the question. Sorry, Mr. Blackstone, for interjecting. You just said something that prompted me to want to ask this question. In the absence of this dual sovereignty, like I'm buttressing what Blackstone is saying, but I want to put it in a question, a form of a question. In the absence of we've not achieved this dual sovereignty or regional government, like what Blackstone said, can each state not develop its region or the state with the resources they have? Is it the case that the federal government is forbidding them to develop their region? For example, the electricity bill that was signed before the departure of the last administration. Is it the case that the federal government, I want to be educated, is there a law or so anywhere that says that states cannot develop their region? Please help me to understand this. We'll go to Blackstone first, then we'll come down to you over there. Thanks for joining us, John Abba.
Thank you.
Okay. In your questions, I don't think there's anything that will stop a state governor from not developing its own state, right? I'll give you an example. When Wike was the governor of Rivers State, when it comes to the issue of VAT, it took the federal government to court because he wanted to be collecting the VAT that is collected that is being paid within Rivers State. And he won that case. You know, what is killing most of the state governors is because their alliance or because of the, let me say, party alliance, you understand me? They say, oh, I don't want to have problem with my party as well as because they are hiding after they leave office. They are hiding that their party will still support them. So they don't want to go into disagreement with their party members. For example, if any state want to develop its own state, want to use any of the resources to develop the state, and said it is in a conflict with the law or the constitution, you can go to court and say, no, I want to develop my state. This is something that is in my state, and I have it right. If I don't even have 100% right, at least I can have a 70% or 50% right to use that resources to develop my state. Now, we make a reference to the electricity bill that Buhari signed into law. But today, I will tell you something, Mr. Electricity. Nigerians governors, state governors, they enjoy doing simple contract because that's from where they will get their quick money. They will take their kickback. They will award this contract to their people because they're going to get their own kickback from those contracts. I don't see any reason why a state, after Buhari has passed the law and say we want to now go into power generation. You understand me? And fast track it. Today can fast track power generation very well. There are technologies. If you're not even buying new equipment, there are some power plants that have been decommissioned that were used for test projects in the part of the world. You can go, because after they are done with those projects, they couple this machine, this power machines and everything, for them to be sold out to other people want to buy other countries. You can go and buy these things. They will come and install them for you. What will take you 2-3 years? It will take you 6 months. And you will have a power.
Okay.
And from there, can expand on it gradually. But this, like Obi said, they have no vision. It's lack of vision. As the Bible said, but people perish for lack of vision. That is what is happening to the governors in our countries today, in every state in Nigeria.
Blackstone. John Abba, you are vast in Nigerian law than any of us here, so maybe you'll be able to educate us. During the election, Peter Obi traveled to Egypt, if I'm correct, in terms of electricity search or how to build it. Is there any law, any bylaw, any in-law in that country that forbids states from developing? For example, let's use the riverine area, where I come from. We also use the east as well to build a seaport. Must it come from the federal government? Because as it is, we are blaming federal government for everything. We are not getting sugar from federal government. They are not giving us salt. They are giving us in teaspoon instead of using those big. Is there anything that stops state governors from developing their state? The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Electricity, Blackstone, my boy, okay. It's good to see you.
I okay. When I do my talk, I go talk. I don't say
you don't find trouble again, though.
It's good to see you guys. Electricity.
I'm the one in trouble.
It's good to see you. I just preparing to go to church, and I carry my iPad, I swap it, and I saw Electricity. I saw, okay, let me talk to my brother before I start my day. And you look nice on tie. I think you're supposed to go and run for office in Nigeria. Based on my own observation, there is no law. In fact, just like Blackstone said, before Buhari left, he signed that bill that states can establish their own power. And the biggest problem we have is the short-sightedness of the people. For instance, I think could become to the public domain by making the case of what he did in Anambra, which catapulted him to where he is today, according to him and his supporter. So what prevents people doing well for their state, even though they become a career politician? You can still do well, but they are blinded with their corruption and cheap contract where they can get their kickback. There is the simple thing. There is nothing than corruption, because if you do well, so many have praised Kwankwaso for his time in office in Kano State. So whatever you do for your state, even though so many people may disagree with Wike, people still believe he did some infrastructure in Port Harcourt. So is all of this is the short-sightedness, and if you look deep down, I don't know how to categorize it. Is that pure unqualified evil,
or people that lack total vision. And the first thing is that what did they have in mind before they started running for an office? Are they just want to go and loot the money, make name and enrich themselves and their family, or they go with good intention to serve the people? And end of the day, you see the result very clear that these people have no good intention to serve the people. It's just an opportunity for them to enrich themselves. And that is the reason why the state are not growing. And I'm pleased that you came up with that, because oftentimes we come to this platform going straight to the federal government when we have the state government, when we even Wike was not APC. I don't know if it's APC now, but then he credited Buhari for not owning the state. So if these monies are all the allocations, all the monies are given to you to develop your state, what is hindering you? Is all about, can be categorized into two things: lack of vision or greed, which is unqualified evil. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John Abbott. In bringing this program to an end in the next 20 minutes, what is highlighted on the screen there says, when a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, which I believe we've experienced, every one of us, we've experienced and spoke about it in Nigeria, it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to destroy. The question is, how do we take such people like the elite and the leaders that we've all mentioned? How do we take them out of the society? I will start with AY, that just joined us in. AY, the floor is yours.
Firing squad.
Hold on, we'll come to you. AY, the floor is yours. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everyone. Pastor Jonaba and Pastor Blackstone, una no go do Christmas giveaway at the collect. I'll collect it. You guys need to do Christmas giveaway.
That what the time never reached. Our senior pastor did there. Our senior pastor
Jonaba.
Jonaba. Assistant na electricity. Assistant electricity.
Oh my God. Yeah. It seems you guys have been on for over almost 2 hours. Wow, that's great. Yeah, the question you asked, how do we get rid of these people that have kind of like destroyed the good of others? That's a bit tough though. So I think, in my opinion, is, so if we live in a country where we have laws, because the first of all, when you say destroy good of others, so what I think the statement the person meant is, it's more like, for example, what's supposed to benefit the people, you blocking it for your own selfish interest. It could be a form of anything. Let's say share company in Nigeria, they're supposed to pay $10 billion to the community we are operating, but one man will collect $2 million instead, and let the other money goes. Or it could be infrastructural development. Take money, build a road. You put the money in your pocket, and people are dying on that road. So it's very wide. I think the simple answer is punishment for those people. We have laws that are working. You face the music. Whatever the law of the country, of the law of the place, you should be punished accordingly. That's the way I see it. Unfortunately, where we're coming from, we have these laws, but nobody is implementing. People do what they like. in the name of anything and go free. They do commit all this evil and they go free, you know. In fact, they will even give their chieftaincy titles. Religious center we recognize them as the heroes, the people that are doing it for them. So it is a societal problem. I think if we have laws that are working, if the law demand you to be in 20, depend on the offense. If the law demand you to be in 20 years in jail, so shall it be.
Anyway,
If it's
are
to
you
eliminate,
suggesting that we don't have such laws in existence,
we
or
have.
is it the case that those who are supposed to enforce or implement these laws, you need to clarify that, please?
We have the laws in existence. If I think we have them, the implementation, that's where the problem is. Because of the corruption, those that are supposed to implement, they will commit another offense in form of taking bribe and say, hey, let that person be free. In form of some of them have godfathers. Hey, don't touch that guy, let him go. So it's just different stuff. Is the corruption and the laws are not really working. That's what it is.
All right, Mr. Blackstone. I know of you. It's the floor is yours in respect to the question on board. I'm going to highlight the question again. Sorry about this.
Joaba,
Let me
I know that be bad boy, but I will come specially. I'll come and explain first before anything. Anyway, running up, you 3 questions before Sabi. How do we solve? How do we achieve the dual sovereignty? You said why the governors are not living up to expectation, and how do we defeat the current elite? I think the dual sovereignty issue is, I think there's a blueprint already out there. We are not special as a country, right? But at this point, we are caught between the philosophy, the ideology of the British who gave us, who colonized us, at the same time free us. I don't know where they free us, but insist we model our government. Insist we model our government like their own, which explain what we used to practice as a regional government and all that. But again, the reality of the present day as at that time, which is America as the world power, say no, you guys have to go follow our own way. I mean, this is my own explanation of why they choose this same government that we are practicing. This is what I'm saying. So we modeled after the Americans, but we did not go into details. Those who live in America should go and study the Federalist paper, which arguably one of the best essays collective that explain what American government and people is about, where the constitution that we are derived from, the American constitution, can largely credited to 3 people, right? Alexander Hamilton, James, and Jane Johnson. Those are people who actually contributed more than 60% of what is currently the constitution. But how did they arrive there, which is how we go to achieve our? I'm not saying we should do exactly what they did, but it's something that we can look and say, okay, we want to adjust our own. Delegates, they remember there were about 13 colonies then, 13 states. Delegates from these 13 states assemble themselves after they don't get independence from British, or about 10 years after their independence, where they actually modeling their own government after the British. But they feel that they were powerless because the 13 colonies were individually more powerful than the central government, which exposed them to another external invasion. They were wary of the French people coming towards from the Canadian, the Quebec side. They also worry about the Spanish people coming from the Mexican, or they are worrying about the British themselves, who eventually come and invade Washington, D.C. So they have to find a way to come. How do we create an entity, a society that is derive power from the people? By so doing, we will avoid what the world known as democracy, because America is not producing democracy. Their fear is that some fascists or a group of powerful people will use that spirit of democracy to hijack power, which says majority carry the rules, right? Kabafi, just like they accused Tinubu saying that Kaba and income, but came through the institution of a parties and they're empowered today. So the American people from the beginning, they try to avoid that. That's why they democratize every aspect of their society rather than having majority carry it all. So there were rigorous debate. They locked themselves for Philadelphia for over 6 months. They were living. The record shows that they drank over 1,000 different types of bottles of alcohol. They were just going at it, debating. They go back and forth. They did the right until they came out with a document that they all agree on, those delegates. But it still take them like 2 years before the whole country actually ratify it to replace the old one. Why am I saying that? We can say two people from each state or each local government, however we want to do them, assemble them, people that we trust, people that understand the society, whatever criteria we want to use, assemble them, give them like 3 years, put them for one village, let them be there, make them be fight, make them they argue, they debate. At the end of that 3 years, they will come up with a document that will begin to pass around each state. You will rectify it. However we want to, because as it is now, there's too much power in the center, and lots of people who don't care about us as a black. I think is it AY that said they are greedy than they are visionless, right? So we democratize that power, we break it down. It can be achieved. We are human beings now. The world today, now people bring out to be. We can sit down and think. Just give them time and resources. You will see things will come out if we actually want that. Or now we can force ourselves. I will come down to that where we'll defeat this elite. The second thing, why governors not to do what they are supposed to do. Just they are like us, me and you. Let me use us as an example here. There are people among us here who just say, you know what, man, fuck it, man. Easier way out not to just jackpot job. Or make a idea. Have easier way to join them or make a jackpot. Why there are some other people who say, man, they don't fight, try everything, you know what? They say, you know what? We'll join them or make a jackpot. The same thing with those governors. They go into government. There are some of them who say, you know what? I want to do things. I want to change things. But of course, they meet resistance. They fight. You say, you know what? Fuck it. I give up or I join them. Why some from day one, they say, you know what? I'm not going to beat them anyway. So fuck it. Maybe I just join them. So so then there is, and that is because we as people, we don't punish our public officials. Somebody say we worship them because we see that they were able to transform their life. So we see them as God. So we don't punish them. And I keep saying it. If AY fuck up today, we not go. You don't need to ask me how we take hand around. We go rush him. We pieces him. Easy. We not put it down. We get no first.
You just carry gun, you shoot him.
You understand? But how come he become governor? He go destroy all our life. We go still celebrate him. But so you see, we as people, we they choose and select. What is responsible for that is a different ball game. So these governors, they are acting based on us. They look us. If I do this small thing, make I see. Now only shout, they go shout. When they tired, they will go sit down, right? We don't follow it through. Even our complaint, we go complain. No, we they go allow us. When would it finish? You understand? So even our complaint, we know they finish them. We don't embark on project that will finish, and that's the difference between us and this elite. And the only way for us to beat them, we have to mean what we say and go all through. And the idea that we need any of them to come and lead us, I don't care if it's Obi, I don't care whatever it is, I don't care if it's all these businessmen, billionaires, they cannot relate. They are in bed with all one of them. So the easier way to defeat them is to think reality. God know they make president. Now people they make president, right? We have to start thinking
thank you.
Our
Thank you
pain.
for that.
When we
God does not.
our pain, when we allow our pain, we are alive with all the people where they verse. I think those people will wake up.
God does not make president. It is the people that makes president. Equally, it is the people that makes judges and police officers and everything. So it is across board. So it is still down to us, the people. Who is next on the floor? Like Ovie said, I changed what is on the screen. We have up to half 4 anyway, so there's plenty of time because the next broadcast will start 4:30 my time. So this is just 3 o'clock. So Some facts about human government: they were instituted by God. Their purpose was to execute criminals and enforce law and order among men, as Ovie highly highlighted. And when these things are not done, I cited an example of what happened with George Santos. The most recent one is George Santos in the United States, where he was expelled from the House due to a violation of a violated ethics rule. The system is not perfect. They are human beings just like you and I. They have a single head like you and I, two hands and two legs, the same mind and faculty to reason. Why can't we come to that point as well? Jonaba, then we'll go to Blackstone. And if we have nothing more to say, we'll call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you once again. I think it's a failure of imaginations for us to believe that we can get rid of the elite. Elite is not our problem. Our problem is us to empower ourselves and get to the level of self-esteem and know the rule of law and how to help them, since they could not do it for us, and channel our resources, our knowledge, our wisdom towards it. Because if somebody will be promising you every 4 years in campaign from 1999 that the democracy in Nigeria started, and up to present, they never deliver on their promises, the citizen will rise because the elite are not suffering from anything. Even though if you flip it, they are also a victim of the environment, but they have a better protection. So the notion that ordinary people can overcome elite, especially in our society, to me, is a failure of imagination, and it will not happen. What I will look at is that how did the people know their basic right? And how will for instance, you see someone did nothing. There was a time, I'll give you an example, but he's also a popular individual. There was a pastor in Nigeria that they sent to go and arrest him, and the people resisted that they wouldn't arrest him, that he did nothing wrong. And they do not allow the SS, the DSS, and all the people that went there to arrest him. They can protect, so that is, and they never arrested him. They sit, and then I'm going to say, you will pass by, ordinary Nigerian on the street will be beaten in the public by a police officer, and the citizen walk by. I mean, first of all, that is what you are doing right now, electricity. It's empowering the people. You have your right. We will support you. We will not turn our back on you. We will not walk by you when you are in trouble. When the law is not about fairness, but when the law is not interpreted in the right way, then it becomes partial. Those are the things we do. The moment the elite or those that have whatever you call them, power, the moment they sense and size the society are getting informed, even from what happened in the past election, it triggered them, and they know that people are rising, and there changes. Even in America here, you see that people say, oh, I'm not supporting this. And then at time comes, they started supporting the same people because they see that the society have embraced it. We have seen in the grassroots here, people who come from other rural area in America, you see that what they do in Washington or in their state capital is based on their constituency. They may be against it. It may not be in their favor. It may not even supposed to be what they talk about it publicly. But the moment they realize that their constituency are not in support of it, it doesn't matter what the world say. They will go by that. Because those are the people that will send them back to Austin or to Washington. So this is how we change it. It's about information. It's about knowledge. It's about pushback on them, whether through your ballot or through your protest. Something have to shake them fundamentally, and they're weak, because all the power, or we are talking about whether it's military, whether whatever, is under the elite. The elite control them, because we have a corrupt society where people do not take legends to serve the people, rather to disservice them. So it is the elite. We're not going to get rid of it by whether by another elite or by just saying, oh, we can get rid of them. They have everything in their disposal, and they will use it against you mercilessly. So it is what you are doing, you are already doing it. Use the social media and stand up, protest, call it out. If anyone from your local area, let there be accountability from that grassroots before we go and be talking about federal government. While in your own state or in your own local government, when you see your local government chairman robbing you broad daylight and nobody organized, whether to come against them, and then the environment, they are not awakening. It's awakening that shake them, that bring them to order. It never happened just like, oh, another elite have to go and top other elite, or the society will wake up one day. No, your knowledge increases. The more you know, the more they get afraid of you. And you cannot just know and you sit down. You have to protest. You have to send a strong message to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I will let Ikenna speak. According to what Kulata just said, I hope he's going to shed more light on your clarification in case I am wrong. Anything that is reality is God ordained, unless God is a clown with no power. So, Kulata, if this is what you're saying, I stand to be corrected. There is no electricity in Nigeria. That means God ordained that upon us. If I am wrong, could you please? I use electricity as just one example. So, Ikenna, can you weigh in on that comment,
Yeah,
please?
yeah. Good morning, good afternoon to everybody. So this is it. This statement you just read now is what I believe is the problem with our society. There are certain things I say to people. I say, look at let me quote some text from the Bible. Because I'm a Christian, the Bible makes us to understand that Israel is the country after God's heart, or God loves them, right? But they don't just fold their arms and wait. I mean, if you look at technology in the world, Israel has the best. If you look at army, Israel has the best. In agriculture, Israel is doing wonderfully well. Yet, these are the people that God says, I love. They still go out of their way to see how they can better their lives. Look at America today. They do everything. These same people, Americans, they breathe, that brought religion to us. Look at the Saudi Arabians, the Arabs, the people that brought this religion to us. They are doing wonderfully well, doing everything. When it's time to work, they work. When it's time to worship, they worship. Yet, we sit back and believe that in our suffering and poverty is all about God. That's what God wants. People sit back and tell you, oh, God ordained it. That's why he look at all the prophecies before the election. All the prophecies. Which one came to pass? None. Well, one thing is for sure. We know who won the election. And the winning of that election wasn't about the prophecy. It was about the people saying, listen, this is what we want. But we are sitting back watching things have gone the other way. listen, let me say this. I really don't come to comment on public spaces like this because one thing I believe for sure is that every Nigerian today knows exactly what's wrong with the country. There is no Nigerian who wake up today, even as little as 12-year-old, that does not know, that would say, oh, I don't know what's wrong with this country. We all know. But the fact is, what are we willing to do? And if anybody tells you, I'm sorry, I respect what you do, but I think we are talking too much on social media. That's just what I feel. We are talking too much on social media. And these men whom we refer as the elite, which is less than 1% of the country, understand that everything will end up in social media. So they will go on and do what they want to do after all. I mean, we can do whatever we think we can go to social media and rant. These comments were made during the election. Oh, at the end of the day, no be social media on a go-go. And they are leaving it. I feel, and so that you don't also misunderstand this, when we talk about holding the elite accountable or holding the local government chairman, the last speaker said, oh, we should start from the grassroots, even hold your local government chairman accountable. I laugh at that. You know, one thing I realized during the last election, even the people, half of us who are even here shouting for good governance, we are doing so because we hadn't been given the opportunity to come and steal. That's just the truth. I went for one of the last rally before the election. I'm an obedient. I know how much of my personal money I put into that rally. I put into the election. Do you know one thing happened? Why? During the last rally, I met some people. They said, you did all this thing. Why haven't you come to the party office to come and show yourself and, you know, so that you'll be recognized? I said, no, I wasn't doing this for recognition. I was doing this because I believed in what we are doing. I believe in this cause. I am doing this for my children. I'm afraid for my children in this country. Unfortunately, I lost my wife due to bad governance. In our own national hospital, in front of me, my wife was killed out of carelessness. Do you understand? So I said, I know why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it because I want P2B to recognize me or to give me a position when he wins an election. No, that's not why. But guess what? Most of the teams, obedient team you saw, everybody had an agenda. Everybody had, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them had an agenda. They had plans. Oh, it will be okay when they will release campaign money. This is how much. And I was there listening to people complaining. They release campaign money. This person carried it. This person. I was like, damn, is this what it is? Are you guys doing this because you were planning to get part of that campaign money, or you were doing it because you actually believed in the person you were supporting? That's one thing. Two, the people you're expecting to go and hold the local government chairman accountable, or whoever it is accountable, they are even worse than the people they are supposed to go and hold accountable. Everybody is all about money. Everybody is all about make my turn, make my own person enter there. Then I will be able to, you know, gather the much I can. Nobody is even willing. Nobody is interested in what is going on in the country or saving the country. We are hungry today. We are hopeful. Oh, don't worry. One day it will reach my turn, or one day my person will enter there. I go. Just while the campaign started, or while the election season came on, I was with a friend. I was talking to a friend. Before now, I had been a card-carrying member of PDP, and he is also a card-carrying member of PDP. He was like, oh, we are going to, if Obi likes, he should leave. No, that was exactly when Obi left and went to Labour Party. He said, we will vote PDP. We are not voting Obi. I said, guy, you are not serious. I mean, I'm not voting PDP. I'm a card-carrying member, yes. He said, why? You know, if Atiku enters there, it will be good for all of us. I say, yes, it will be good for all of us, but that's not what I'm looking for. I said, oh, guy, you have a company? He said, yes. I have a company. I said, yes. I said, listen, do you want to tell me that if there is a level playing ground for everybody, you cannot get projects from the government? He said he can. I said, so why do I have to support somebody because I want projects when I know on a good day, I can do this by myself. Why do I need to sell myself short? Why do I need to mortgage my family's future, my children? Why do I have to do all this? Just because I want somebody that I'm closer to be there so that I will be the one favored. Don't favor me. All I ask is have a level playing ground for everybody. Let me play the way others are playing. Give us the level playing ground. So this is the mindset of the young people you are expecting to hold their local government chairman accountable. That mindset is bad. Across board, I can tell you this is bad. So if we are waiting that, talking on social media, organizing spaces, people keep talking. Look at David Wimbe, all the work he did. In a sane climb, trust me, Nigeria will still be boiling till today. But hey, everybody is cool with it. If the government decides tomorrow that as long as you're in Nigeria, everybody will pay 10,000 naira, whether you have it or not, trust me, we will swallow it. You know what's going to happen? People will come to your house, kill you, collect your own 10,000 to go and pay to the government so that they will be in peace. That's what's going to happen. I think we have a docile society. We are very docile. And I believe that one of the major problems to this is religion. I'm a Christian. I've done my service this morning. People just wait and say, oh, God is going to do it for us. No, there are certain things God had already done for you. There are certain things God had done for us. On the other side, Muslims will say, that's Allah's wish. And we are suffering and dying. We don't even sit back to ask ourselves, the people that brought this religion, what are they doing? Are they sitting back? A friend from Egypt called me one time and said, guy, you guys, we are surprised at Nigerian youths. We are surprised at Nigerian youths that they have to stand up. If you protest for what, in fact, I remember when I'm from Imo State. I remember when the Supreme Court judgment in Imo State happened. I called one of my guys who was a top PDP person then. I said, why are we not sustaining this protest? He said to me, it's money to protest now. For you to keep people out there, you have to be providing food. You have to be providing water. You have to bring money and all that. And I said, so the people do not know what is good for them, that I have to pay you to go and fight for your rights. And that's the reality. That's the reality. I just feel that we are not there. The suffering, we have not gotten there yet. We are still able to breathe. That's the reason why we are taking it all in. We want to suffer and we want to smile. We trivialize everything. People are suffering, dying, you see. I saw one clip the other time. There was an accident. A trailer hit a bus. People were there. Some were still alive, breathing, but in pain. You won't believe that I saw human beings like you and I will walk over them to go and take fuel from the tanker. Nobody cared about the people who are there in pool of their own blood. Everybody was just walking across them to go and take fuel. The poor will rather eat the poor. The poor will rather eat the poor and kill the poor than ask the elite for accountability. That's the reality of Nigeria today. The poor will rather attack their fellow. In Abuja, I lived in Abuja. You will see these guys from environmental protection. They will come. They will chase after the lady who is roasting corn, selling food, trying to make a living. Sometimes I will stop, I'll call them. I'll ask them, the big man that sent you to come and do this is in his office, taking all the money that is meant for this place, that is meant for these poor people, but they will rather send the poor, like you and I, to go and harass the other poor people. And you will do it with all joy and gladness. You need to see where the poor is trying to punish their fellow poor people. You do it with all joy. But the criminal that had kept both of us in this situation, he comes out, Babao, I hail you. I think the mindset for Nigerian youth needs to change. It needs to change. I'll be honest with you. We can say this, we can talk on spaces from now till tomorrow. Look at how many people on this space. Let's look at it. How many people are on this space and how many people will see this space? And there's also a deliberate attempt to keep the majority of us hungry and make us illiterate so that we don't even come half time. I mean, no because we get money to buy data, go day here, they listen to you.
Thank you very thank you.
No because we get money to buy data, go they listen to you. If I don't have money to buy data, I'll come here and listen to what you're saying. I mean, I think it's time we hit the streets. Forget all these.
That's a valid point you made.
Thank
on
you.
behalf of everyone, please accept our condolences.
Thank you.
Respect to the loss of your wife. I know.
Thank you.
I feel you because I've experienced it myself, so I know what it is.
I'm sorry. This is an opportunity to say this. I'm sorry, it may come out wrong, but let me say this. A friend who worked in National Hospital, you know what he told me when he came to visit me? He said to me, you should have called me when you took your wife to the hospital. That in National Hospital, there's what they call phone call doctors and the real doctors. The phone call doctors are the ones that whenever there is an opportunity to hire doctors, ministers, governors will start calling. That is my candidate. So they write a test. All the people that pass the test will be moved aside. Maybe one of them will be hired. Then every other person will be from this minister, from this governor, from this person. Now, if he said, I quote him, if you come with an emergency situation and make the mistake of falling into the hands of one of those doctors, you're gone. And I asked myself, why should I go to the hospital and I will have to first of all call somebody?
Call somebody, exactly.
Why should I do that?
Right.
That is the situation of Nigeria today. I'm sorry to say.
It is unfortunate. Jonaba, you want to say something before I close?
Yeah.
Again, please accept our condolences. Please.
Thank you.
I mean, sorry, Joe. Before you call me, Jonaba, these are the things I keep saying that we need to. Okay, will somebody say that? Oh, God ordained such a thing to happen to? I mean, like I said there before, I've lost a child in Nigeria there, the twin sister. The carelessness and irresponsible of a nurse, and so I can feel you. It's about 10 years ago now, 10 years just around the corner here. I feel you and I know what it is. So please accept my condolence. Jonab, after you, we will bring the broadcast to an end. So thank you very much. There will be another broadcast at 4:30 for those who wants to still.
I won't say anything before you close.
Blackstone, forgive me for today. After Jonaba, I will bring Jonaba. Make it brief, please. Thank you.
Again, sorry for your loss. In one way, and also go to you, electricity. Even though it's 10 years ago, I believe that those vacuum will always be there for the rest of our lives. Those of us that have lost our loved one, but in one way or the other, we are all victims of that circumstances. It may be your brother, your sisters, and all of that, and that is why we are all crying out here for the change that we all desperately need. Now, one of the things that we should not be discouraging is that knowledge is power. You cannot say that, but in a contradicted way that, if we say all we are saying here till tomorrow, it's not going to make any difference. The Bible said that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Now, I'm not saying now by the word of God. The voice of men also a voice of God. Every positive word we are putting out there to encourage people and to give them the right information. There are many Nigerians today, whether young or old. In fact, the youth are no different from the old ones. Sometimes I come to Nigeria often. Even this year, I've been there and all of that. So Nigeria, like you said, it's the mentality of the people. And this is what we are trying to shape by knowledge, by information. If we cannot come here and continue and we get tired of telling it, then it's also a strategy by the elite that they will get tired because they have used everything in their hand to deprive us of everything that we need to be a decent human being. And even if it is death will come, whether in a young age or old age, everybody deserves to live this world with dignity and not in pain and suffering. So I believe that we should continue to educate our people and to let them know their basic human right, which the government is not offering them. Who else, if not platform like this and every other places where we have opportunities to speak truth to the power and to let the people know you got power, use it. This is the area, this is how you use it. So I don't think we should discourage spreading the good news. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a very important point you just highlighted. So as I bring the broadcast to an end, thank you, gentlemen, and hopefully we shall meet again. God bless you.
Thank you, brother.